Well, tomorrow Mainers will once again get together to honor the birth of an American civil rights icon. The granddaughter of Cesar Chavez will also be there. And this really comes at a time when Maine is facing some pretty big diversity and economic issues.
Okay, with us to talk more about the event is Ralph Carmona. He's the founder of the Maine Global Institute, working to make Maine a more welcoming place. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about the Maine Global Institute and tell us what that organization is.
Well, the Institute it was just founded just very recently this year, and it's a partnership with the largest immigrant advocacy organization in Massachusetts. It's called MIRA, Massachusetts Immigrant, Refugee and Advocacy Coalition, the MIRA Coalition. They're my fiscal agent, and they encouraged me to put together this effort in terms of creating a more acceptable environment for Maine in terms of an inevitable demography that's going to impact the state in the future.
And why do you say there's this inevitable change? What do you think is going to happen, and what needs to happen in response to that?
Well, if you don't have human capital, if you don't have people in Maine who are coming to Maine, and we have a decline in terms of native birth rates, but an escalation of 70% of kids coming to our schools who are of immigrant background or from away. If you don't have those folks coming, migrating, either from rural poor areas in Maine to urban areas, or retirees coming in, or young people who want to make quality of life here, you're not going to have any economic growth.
And you have an article this morning that's coming out in the Press Herald.
Right.
Talk a little bit about about why you put that article together and what you hope that viewers of our program and readers of our media partners paper, you hope that they learn through all of this.
Right. The purpose of the article is to focus on Cesar Chavez and how, in many ways, the values that he had in the 1960s are applicable to the 21st century. There's going to be a sharing of thoughts, so that we can have a conversation about what Cesar means for Maine and for America's future. This is a person who represents a massive demographic and economic shift in America. We have a more concentrated economy. We've got an economy that it results in a diminishing middle class, and we also have a situation where 1 out of every 6 people is of Hispanic background. That's a profound change, and so it's apt that somebody like Cesar Chavez is significant in terms of his application of these kinds of values for this 21st century.
And on Saturday, you will be also doing an event, and
right.
Tell us about this. Tell us about that, and then we'll show the brochure as well.
Well, the event is one that's going to involve a conversation, really a sharing of thoughts, and after that, a conversation with people, hopefully throughout the day, about what Cesar's values means for the 21st century. That's very important because, this was a man who fought for the least of us, to organize the poorest working people in this country. And I think if Cesar were alive today, I'd venture to say that he would say that we're, to a large extent, all farm workers. We all are struggling with wages and pensions and benefits and the need for a growing economy.
And I do want to ask you before we let you go, as we are running out of time here, but about this gay rights issue. Do you think that Cesar and his granddaughter believe that this is a civil rights issue, and do you think that that would have been an issue that he was fighting for today?
Well, Cesar Chavez was a person who really went to the heart of understanding that faith is significant in the public square, in the public world. And in that situation, think about this, a century ago, interracial marriage would have been inconceivable. So you have to have a degree of faith in terms of how you embrace issues that don't make sense in terms of the conventional wisdom. And in the 1970s, Cesar was the only civil rights leader to come out consistently in support of gay rights. And he did it because he saw what was happening to them as an ostracized population.
All right, well, thanks so much, Ralph, for stopping by, and always a pleasure to chat with you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
And that celebration will be tomorrow on Congress Street, 425 Congress Street in Portland, going on from 3 until 5 o'clock tomorrow. Okay.